In this lesson, we will add brow controls. We could always use one of our existing controls. We'll go ahead and grab the left eyes controller. Let's go ahead and clone that with Control V. And we'll go ahead and choose OK. We'll unlink it. Let's go ahead and move this over. Alright, I think that this is going to work out well. If anything, we can drop the size a bit. Let's go ahead and have it quick aligned over to brow A on the left side. I'd recommend that before you do this, just go ahead and check your model layer. Make sure it's frozen so we don't accidentally quick align to the face, because it's not supposed to go there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and press Shift A, and we'll go ahead and align over to that envelope object. Let's go to our point level, and we'll start to bring down the size. Then we'll go ahead and move this forward. Alright, great. So this looks good. Let's say we go ahead and rename this. It's going to be NML Brow A01. We'll now clone the object, rename it Brow B01, and we'll have this quick align to the next helper. Let's go to our shape level, and we'll move our points forward. Alright, great. So this looks good. Okay, so we have to clone this again. We'll name this Brow C01. Let's quick align. Let's take a look at the shape. It looks like we'll just need to kind of pull this out in the x-axis. So we'll go ahead and just pull it out a bit so it's easy to select. That looks good. And visually, it looks like Brow B can be centered a bit better, so I might go to that. Go ahead and select the points here and just kind of pull those over to our right a bit more. Just a bit. Maybe a bit more. Okay, I think this looks good. So we have our subcontrollers. We do need a parent controller. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and work with one of our shapes here, or we can always import a shape in. We choose import and perhaps grab our arrow shape. Alright, there it is. You can see it's over to the side. Here's our itty bitty rig. Let's go ahead and move this over. We'll grab our points and we'll go ahead and scale this down. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom in. We'll bring down the size a bit more. It helps to have thickness enabled, so we know to go in and freeze our transforms and also reset the X form. So let's go ahead and reset the X form first. And we'll also make sure to collapse this down. Alright, and now it's just a matter of making sure that this object is going to be placed at the right spot. And what I like to do is simply go ahead and have it aligned to Brow B, since it's right in the center, and that's exactly where this control's pivot should be. So with it still selected, we'll press Shift A and we'll quick align to Brow B. Alright, great. What we can do next is go back to our point level. Go to make sure that we're in our vertex of object level, and we'll just go ahead and rotate this down. Let's make sure we have angle snap on, and we'll rotate it down 90 degrees. Alright, great. Let's go ahead and start reshaping this a bit more. We'll go ahead and pull this up, and then we'll scale it down. Okay. Might bring up the size a bit more. I think that'll work out well. Let's go ahead and move this down. Move it forward. And I'd say we have a really nice looking parent control for the left brow. Let's go ahead and color code it. And we'll have this renamed to NML Brow 01. Feel free to have it stored in the controls layer, so we'll take care of that. Great. And now we'll want to take our subcontrollers and link them over to our parent control. So with all three selected, we'll have those linked. All right. Alright, there we go. Now, what should our main control be linked to? Well, that should be our upper jaw control. Okay, wonderful. So now, it's basically just a matter of cloning this over. Let's head back to layers and we'll go ahead and hide the character. We'll hide that model layer. Now we can go in and let's say create a helper. Alright. I'll make sure that it's quick aligned over to the opposite side here, just to make sure that when we go ahead and move this over, that we mirror this properly using the right offset. So if we were to go ahead and take a look at this helper here, we can take a look at its x-axis, making sure our move tool is set to world. And we can basically just copy this value and use that as the offset. So if we were to go ahead and grab all of our objects here, by selecting the parent control, pressing control page down, we can now grab our mirroring tool. Alright, great. We'll make this a copy. We'll go ahead and choose OK. We'll now go ahead and grab the parent object, and we'll plug in that same value in our x-axis. So we'll go ahead and just paste that in, hit enter, and take a look. It has shifted over to a point it should not have. Let's go ahead and undo that back, just to make sure that it goes to the right place. Let's go ahead and move this around and take a look at what has happened. Alright, so take a look at that. We just needed to update the transform values here. Alright, so once we go ahead and move that object, you can see that we have the actual values we need. So if we were to go ahead and paste that value in again in the x-axis and use that, now our controls have been mirrored across. Okay, great. This looks good. It's a good time to go ahead and recolor these objects, and then we can have them renamed. So we know what color we're using here. It's just that same color of green. So let's make sure to do that for the other control objects. Great. And what I'll do is pause the video and have these renamed, since it's a pretty straightforward process. Alright, so each object has been renamed and recolored. We can get rid of our helper here. No longer need it. And if we were to go ahead and take that parent control and hit page up, you'll see that it is linked to the correct object. So remember, once we're finished linking, we can go ahead and freeze our transforms. We could always select both parent controls, press control page down, I'll right click and choose freeze transform. Alright, great. Now, here's the interesting part. We don't need that group that we have used for our envelope objects that the browse use. Simply because we can go ahead and link them directly to these controls. That's a very fast way to get these rigged. Since we know that we want to not only move them, but we also want to rotate and scale them, be a very quick process to just go in and link to these control objects. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. Just grab our link tool and we'll link our envelope objects to their respective controls. Alright, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Oh, just want to make sure we link to the right object. There we go. Alright, so take a look. Now when we grab the parent control, all three should follow. Good stuff. If we wanted to, we can bring back the character and take a look at how this all plays out. So we're going to grab the parent control, and you can see we're driving that eyebrow. How fun. Alright, super cool. And remember, we do have scaling control. Sweet. So we can stylize the animation some. Alright, very exciting. So that's what we basically need to do for our right side. And remember, let's go ahead and bring back the hidden layer. We no longer need that group object. So if we were to go ahead and press the H key and type in, say, GRP, you'll find that the group object is here. So once you're finished linking, you can go ahead and search for that group and go ahead and just remove it. I'll go ahead and choose cancel. We'll grab our link tool and we'll go ahead and link the other envelope objects to their controls. So there's one, there's two, and one more. Alright, great. Let's press the H key. Again, we'll type in GRP. There's that group. So with that selected, we'll not link. We're under our link tool right now. Go ahead and cancel that out. Press the Q key to grab the select tool. And now let's go back to that. We don't want to link that group. We want to remove it. So let's go ahead and now choose OK after it's been selected and delete it. All right, great. So we have our brow controls in place. Let's go ahead and move these around. Let's take a look. They're looking good. Let's go ahead and select the upper jaw. And we'll start to go ahead and move that. Take a look. They follow just fine. All right, well, we have finished up our work here. We only have a few things left to do. What we'll do in the next lesson is actually bring back the eyebrow geometry and the hair, and I'll show you how to tie those down so that they can follow a deforming surface.